Letter 38, Camp near Fredericksburg, Virginia, April 6, 1863. My dear Georgie, since my return to the Army, I have received 4 letters from you yesterday. Day before yesterday, we were ordered out of our dens. We are now 2 miles from old camp. We arrived here late in the evening last Saturday. We scarcely had time to stretch our tent before snow commenced falling, which continued to fall until yesterday morning. Yesterday was Easter Sunday. The ground was covered with snow 5 to 6 inches deep. The weather has been most disagreeable since my return than it was for 3 weeks before I started home. We are not apt to stay long at our camp now, though we shall fix up here as though we intended to remain for some time. We will build a chimney to our tent today. We will picket at the same place we did before we moved. We are now 2.5 miles from our picket post. We have an abundance of good wood here, whilst I write. Glenn and Prince are cooking breakfast. That must account for my nervousness. I have not eaten breakfast. Lieutenant Wyatt has just returned from Richmond. He says whilst he was there, about 300 females armed with axes, crowbars, and pitchforks took possession of everything eatable that they could find, and not satisfied with eatables, they even broke open stores and took dry goods, jewelry, in fact, everything they could appropriate for their use or could sell for money. The city battalion was ordered out of their depredation on the property of citizens of Richmond, but the battalion ingloriously fled before the army of petticoats. President Davis came forth and made a speech to them, stating that rations should be issued to them every morning, on hearing which they dispersed. They call themselves the wives of soldiers, but I doubt many of them having husbands in the army. Say nothing about it, for I know how a great many persons would think of the affair. That those females were on the eve of starvation, which I don't believe. Parson Renfro arrived last night. We will have a preaching in our regiment now, unless I am deceived in Renfro. 4 men reported sick in our company. This morning, none of them much sick. I have not heard from Elsie Fox since sending him to the hospital. General Wilcox gave us his opinion a few days ago, that Hooker would fight us in 10 days from that time. The late snow will delay his advance a few days. I care not how soon the fight may commence, knowing that we are compelled to fight. Say to Sarah that I certainly will write to her day after tomorrow. Remember me to all of the family, your husband, Elias Davis.